Alright, I think it's time to start working on this new tractor here. I don't have all the parts I want to put on it yet, but I've got enough to get started anyway. And I've already started draining the oil, got that all out of there. And I took the plug out of the filter. Let that drain, so I think we'll go ahead, pop this hood off here, pop the muffler and the little fly jar off. And that'll give us a little more light, a little more room. And we'll get that filter out of there and swap it out with a new one, then fill her back up with oil, and then I think we'll start the rear end draining, because that'll probably take a while because it's cold outside now. It's decided to snow in April, so let's get her done. Yeah, she's a little dirtier under there, but ain't the end of the world. It don't look too bad. I've been in there a while. Let's see. Let's get the new one. Perfect. There we go. That ought to work. Looks like my temp gauge could use some work. But now that we got that in there, let's put the drain plug back in, or drain plugs, and fill her up with oil. Alright, I got the drain plug back in, and judging by the amount of goo that was in the little cup on the drain plug, there's probably some sludge in this engine. So I should probably think about buying another filter and just running this one a while, kind of work up that sludge and then changing it out again. But for now, let's go ahead and just fill her up with some oil, and then I think we'll just take this generator out of the way because I'm not going to use it anyway. And then we'll move on to the ignition system. Alright, see if we can dump some oil in. I've got the valves open on the oil pan there, so when they start dripping, you'll know we're getting close. Not exactly sure how much it holds, but I should have plenty. There we go, we're starting to drip out of the bottom one there. Close that up. And we'll see if we start leaking out of that one. But I bet you we're pretty close. Alright, we got a little dribble of oil after a while out of that top valve, so we should be done with the oil change. Now I'm just going to yank this generator off. Give us a little more room, plus I won't be using it anyway, so let's see if we can get it out of here. There we go. Hopefully I can reuse that belt. Yeah, don't need any of that 6-volt crap. And now we got a little bit better access to that spark plug and a little more room to work here on the ignition, so go grab my box of parts and see what we got. Alright, we got all sorts of new ignition goodies. Got a big old 12-volt coil there, and spark plugs and points condenser, spark plug wires, top, rotor, all that good stuff. Probably won't use it all. I think the points and condenser might actually be fine in this thing. It runs so good. Why change a good thing and save them for later maybe. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see how I feel once I'm done, but I think we're going to start by taking this coil off and then just disconnecting this cap and take a look in there and see how good that is and move on from there. Yeah, could probably use a new one. Definitely use new spark plug wires, that's for sure. It's all painted together. All sorts of room to work. Well, maybe I can slip that coil out. Not super hopeful. It was painted in, but I guess we'll find out. Maybe. There we go. That's been in there a while. Still works though, so I'll keep it around. Yeah, she's a little corroded. Alright, well I took the top off there and took a flashlight and took a peek, and the points look alright. I don't see any problem with those, and everything looks pretty good in there, so I don't think I'm going to fiddle with it right now. They just came in the kit, so you know, if I have problems down the road I can play with that, but it runs pretty good. I just wanted to buy the whole kit because obviously the wires are probably from before the Carter administration and they're no good anymore, and the cap and rotor same deal. Plus I wanted a 12 volt coil. I probably could have stuck with the 6 volt coil and it would have worked, but figured might as well get the whole kit, and then I'll have points for later on if they burn up. So I guess I'll throw that back together, put the new cap on and the rotor, and then we'll start tackling the plugs and the wires. I need to make my own wires. They're not already assembled, so we'll get to that. Alright, we're just making our way, pulling the plugs and making new wires here, and plugs don't look too bad. I mean, they're a vast improvement from the ones I pulled off the other tractor, which were Napa brand that they hadn't made since the late 50s, early 60s, so anything's better than that. But I got new ones. I'll start throwing them in and making up some wires. The eyeball gap okay, so we'll throw them in. Change my ratchet to Titan because I lost my little thumb deal. And there's a second one. Grab a wire. Figure out how long we need it. I think that'll do alright. Close enough. Take my end. Poke it on there. It'll probably work. And of course I forgot to put the boot on first. It happens. A lot easier you get the boot on there first. A little silicone spray might give us a chance. There we go. And 2 down, 2 to go. Alright, new plugs and wires are in. Cap and rotor is on. New coils installed. Now all I got to do is make up a new wire there because that looks pretty sketchy. and then I'll put a different end on that so I can just plop it on. And yeah, the ignition system should be good. So then I can go ahead and start draining out that rear end, get that, let that go for a couple of days and let it all drain out while I wait for the alternator. Let's see if I can mock that up. Hopefully it'll work. But if it doesn't, I think I know where I can put that little guy to use, and then I'll just get another one. Maybe get the whole kit with the brackets and everything. Do it the right way, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how the other one works out. But yeah, get this stuff made up and start draining. Alright, I got the new ends on the wires on the coil here. That's all rigged up and good to go. I'm going to have to probably dig into that box and see what's going on there, because I'm switching it over from 6 volt positive ground to 12 volt negative ground, and I want to make sure that there's nothing in there shorting out or anything. And I'll probably end up just eliminating that, and maybe I'll try to get the lights to work, but I don't need that ammeter. That's not going to be good enough anyway, I don't think, because it only goes up to 20 amps. So we'll get around that. And I've gone ahead and drained out the gear lube. There's a little plug in the front and then a big one in the back, and I don't think there was 5 gallons between the two, that's for sure. So it was definitely low. I'll just let that one drip for a day or two, because it's pretty cold outside, so let that run. May throw some diesel in there and kind of flush it out because it looks kind of gooey, but for now we'll just let that go. And I think I'll run around and try to find all the grease zerks on this thing. And there's 2 for this clutch. There's one on each side right there, and then apparently there's one underneath. I would imagine it's down here somewhere, probably through one of these holes. So we'll probably try to find that one and hit all the grease zerks on this thing, and probably call it for now. Still got a lot to do. Once I get my alternator in, I'll have to do that. I'm going to have to take apart that carburetor and see what I'm going to need as far as if I need why float or what level of kit I need, because they come at different levels. And I'll have to open up this and clean it out. The old oil bath air filter, make sure that's clean. Got to replace this cable. I think I've got another one that'll work. And go through the wiring, of course, figure that out. See about getting a new temperature gauge, because that ain't going to work. But it's coming along, we're getting there anyway. Probably should have enough material for a few videos at least.